When you increase clarity, you decrease drama. When you increase the consistency behind the consequences or the rules and expectations, the enforcement of, then you increase motivation. You increase the strength of the culture of the team. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Bondi on Cheer. I am Bondi, and here we have honest conversations about coaching, business, leadership, and long-term athlete development in cheerleading. Today's topic, we're going to discuss setting the team culture. Coaches, your approach to preseason tryouts, all of it. Okay, this is extremely important for the success of the rest of the season and for your program success year after year after year. The culture lays the foundation for other coaches or yourself to continue to build on. But without that foundation of culture, we continue to see teams struggle year after year to grow programs, build programs, find success in competition, all of it. So I want to give you the secret what we believe is the most important part into building team culture, into creating a successful program. Coaches, just show hands before we get into it. Who here has dramatic athletes on their team? Everybody, if you're watching this, your hand should be up. If you're listening to this, your hand should also be up. Just keep it up for me. Who here doesn't want to feel like the bad guy as a coach, right? Keep your hand up. Everybody, that should be everybody. You never want to feel like the bad guy. Do you feel like the bad guy? You probably still have your hand up. Yes, and that's something that we can change. Now, the secret to solving the drama, the feelings of being the bad guy, not finding a way to have athletes self-motivate and want to build culture on their own, setting expectations. And I know it's not flashy. I know it's not exciting. I know it's not the silver bullet everybody's looking for. It's like diet and exercise. You know, what's the perfect way to eat for me to lose weight as quickly as possible? What's the perfect way for me to exercise? And the sad reality is, consistency, consistent training. Really doesn't matter what you're doing. Are you in the gym every day? Really doesn't matter what you're eating. Are you eating whole foods, right? Are you eating things that have, 1 to 3 ingredients, or are you just slamming down whatever's, convenient and quick and easy, right? That's it. Everybody wants the secret sauce. It's not exciting. It's not really a secret. It's just, are you applying it? But I'm going to dive a little bit more and get specific as to what I'm referring to when I say setting expectations. Now, I love to use a bank robber example. Why? Just because I think stealing inherently is something everybody understands they're not allowed to do, right? Doesn't matter where you're from, doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are. It's not okay to steal. And when I say it's not okay, I mean it's not allowed, right? So if somebody robs a bank and they get arrested, nobody is going to be like, hold on, what are you talking about? I'm not allowed to do this? I didn't know that. Of course they knew that they couldn't do that. So when we set expectations, all we're doing is putting forward what it is and is not okay to do. And we're not setting up a debate on right versus wrong, okay? We don't want to get into the morality of things because the greatest minds of our time and times from here thousands of years ago, at every point in time, the greatest thinkers of those times debated this, right? Right versus wrong. What is morality grounded in? Okay. So we don't want to go down the rabbit hole. We're cheer coaches. This isn't life. This is cheer. So we don't need to be getting into all of that. We're talking about establishing what is and what is not allowed so that people know what isn't allowed. So when they do what isn't allowed, they can't turn around and go, oh, I didn't know. If you take that away from people, you'll notice 95% of the drama disappears. So the bank robber example. You live in society where it's not okay to steal. I don't know a society where it is okay, but that's not the point. Let's just take ours, all right? In the United States, you cannot steal. It's not allowed, all right? So by choosing in this society, you are accepting the laws that say stealing is not allowed or you suffer the consequences, okay? By living in this society, you're accepting the laws or you're accepting the consequences. Now, let's reframe this into cheerleading. We'll just switch up some words, all right? So instead of living in, we'll say being on. And instead of society, we'll say cheer team, okay? And instead of laws, let's say rules and expectations. So by being on this cheer team, or by choosing to be on this cheer team, you're accepting the rules and expectations, or you accept the consequences. Now, this has nothing to do with right or wrong, and I'll give you some examples. Somebody could sit here and want to debate with you that it's not wrong to show up late to practice, right? We're not going there. You have to not get caught in the trap of blah blah blah, this and that's right or wrong. No, the rules and expectations that were set forth by the team. Okay, when an athlete shows up late, if you have never explicitly said to the team, you can't show up late, and when you say, what does that mean? What does showing up late mean? Okay, define that. If you haven't said that they can't show up late and you haven't defined what showing up late means to you, well, then you really can't be upset when they look at you and go, oh, why am I being punished? If you tell everybody they cannot be late, and that when you say they cannot be late, late to you is defined as this, and you explicitly tell them that and make sure they understand that, if they then show up late by your definition, knowing that you communicated it to them, then they have nobody to be upset at. They can't look at you and say, well, I didn't know I wasn't allowed to show up late. Like, yes, no, yes, you did actually, right? So another one that we see just constantly being an issue for people in our industry is lineup changes, right? Who's on mat, who's off mat? What flyers on this group? What main bases in that group? What back spot? Always. It's just constantly an issue. Why'd you switch my side base? I was hitting my stunt until my side base got switched. Or my partner. Why'd you move me from him to him? I was hitting my co-ed stunt just fine. Look, if you're a coach and you don't want to get into that, you don't want to get caught in the argument, you don't want to get caught in the drama, the parents are upset, the athletes are upset, then what you need to do is establish very early on that one of the rules and expectations is that there will be lineup changes, that athletes will be put in and taken off of mat or in routine and out of routine, depending on fill in the blank. Their ability to throw skills back to back, to hit skills back to back, to run multiple routines full out while throwing a skill. Like, you, as the coach, get to set that. You get to set it. That's the best part. So if you want a team where all of the athletes that are on mat, in competition routine, traditional game day, whatever it is, if you want to outline that they're expected to be able to throw their tumbling passes, their pyramids, their stunt sequences, all of it in every single full out that you do during a practice, which could be from 3 to 10, right? You could say, we might do 10 full outs in a practice. Put that down on paper. Have everybody sign it, parents, athletes. By doing this, you're taking away their excuse of, I didn't know. And when you take that away, you're also taking away their ability to feel personally attacked. If I'm a coach and I'm just arbitrarily coming up with all these different rules and expectations on the spot, I never communicated them. I say, you're late. And they go, well, it's, 5:50, practice starts at 6. You go, well, I consider late to be, 15 minutes early. So if you show up 10 minutes early, you're still late. Well, if you never say that to them, it's not their fault. It's your fault. You never communicated it. That just feels like you have it out for them. But if you say, well, if you don't land a standing tuck in a routine 3 practices in a row, if you bust a standing tuck within a routine even once, if we throw 5 full outs and you bust it once, after 3 practices of you busting your tuck one time in a routine, I have the right to remove you and put somebody else in. Or that's the expectation, right? Then nobody can bust their tuck 3 practices in a row, even if just one time. By doing that, the athlete can't feel like, well, for whatever reason, you just don't like them. Because you're like, well, hold on a second. This has nothing to do with my feelings towards you. I outlined very clearly in the beginning of the season, right here on the sheet of paper that you signed and your parents signed and that I signed, right? That we went over, we had a meeting on, right? You said that you understood this. So don't turn this around on me and say you feel personally attacked. It's right here. I told you it was going to happen. So that's the importance of establishing what you deem okay right away in the beginning of the season. That will change everything. And you might rub some people the wrong way. You might still have some people that are upset. Guess what? It's showing you who the bad apples are. It's showing you who the non-team players are, because those that are here to support the culture and build the program year over year, who want to see it continue on and flourish with or without them, they'll listen, they'll adhere, they'll understand. But those who don't, those aren't the ones that you want laying this foundation for your program. Now, with all this said, it doesn't mean that you need to be some totalitarian dictator, these are my rules. don't talk to me about them. Don't bring them up. Just accept them or leave. There's the door. Like, you don't have to operate in that way. What we want, though, your job as a coach is to lay the foundation, it's to provide structure. When there is something in place, when there's a foundation, the athletes have something to refer to. You have something to refer to. So if the athletes want to bring something up, if they want to make an amendment, to this, let's call it athlete code of conduct, then there's something for them to reference and say, "Hey, coach, it's something for them to bring up respectfully and professionally to you, having something to actually discuss." But when there's no thing in place, when there's no athlete code of conduct, when there's no set rules and expectations, when athletes have a problem, then you essentially can just do the workaround. Oh, well, I never said that, or we don't do that, or like everybody benefits from having something to refer to say we would like to make a change here. Now, you should encourage collaboration, but you have to provide structure to then collaborate on. If not, it's just chaos. It's just he said, she said, and then you go in circles. Everybody feels personally attacked. Drama increases by 10 points every single time. And by the mid-season, right before competition, it's nothing but drama. It's nothing but mental and physical fatigue and exhaustion. You start to see burnout. Parents are unhappy, athletes are unhappy, you're unhappy. Nobody's getting along. And how successful of a program do you think that's going to be? Not very. So, by you establishing this code of conduct, by you writing something down, creating something tangible, it can be whatever you want, but I do think that written word is best because then you can refer to it. It's objective. People can see it. It's not just living in your head. It's not made up. It's not something that changes day by day, just minute by minute because of how you feel or what an athlete said to you. It's an objective measure of the rules and expectations of the team. And by choosing to be on the team, they're choosing to accept those rules and expectations or the consequences that follow when they don't. So sit down, coaches, think about this. How do you want your team to operate? What do you want your team to look like? What do you want somebody who's going to be part of your program? What do you want to be able to explain to them? Well, here, this is how we do things. This is what we believe, blah, 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 blah. You need to make sure that you're taking the time to think about that. When you increase clarity, you decrease drama. When you increase the consistency behind the consequences or the rules and expectations, the enforcement of, then you increase motivation. You increase the strength of the culture of the team. The athletes become self accountable. You don't have to be the bad guy. You get to sit back and let the rules and expectations and the team culture do the talking for you. It's no longer big bad coach who just has it out for me. It's that you're just upholding, along with the team, the rules and expectations set forth for the athletes, accepted by the athletes, to be able to build a strong team culture. And if somebody can't get behind that, see you later. So, the secret might not have been as exciting as you thought, but that is where real, tangible changes are made. Do yourselves a favor, create this immediately. Don't wait. Don't wait. You should have this ready so when the team is selected, everybody gets handed this thing. Parents get handed this thing. It's discussed at the parent meeting, parent coach athlete meeting, everywhere, all the time. Put it up somewhere. Put it in your practice room. Bring it to the gym that you practice at. Put it up somewhere there. We want to build a culture that becomes self sustaining. You want to take yourself out of the seat of being the big bad guy, all right? And you just want to let the culture do the speaking for itself. That's it for today. Hopefully, you found something of value. I am excited for everybody going to this new season. Thank you all for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.